the former lightweight champion of the UFC, Charles Oliveira, recently praised Islam Makhachev for his outstanding performance during his fight against Alexander Volkanovski. Oliveira was honest in his assessment of Makhachev's progress as a striker. Here is what he said. "This only goes to show with the things that I've said before, the evolution of Islam's game standing up. I mean, what a read he had of that fight to start kicking low, and just ended up kicking high. So, I mean, kudos to him. All props to him, and also all the props as well to Volkanovski for actually taking that fight on a short notice. I mean, all respect to both of them. They're great fighters, and obviously Islam is a great champion, and all respect to both fighters. It shows the evolution of an MMA fighter." The mixed martial arts world is excited to see what action Makhachev will do next in an attempt to maintain his status as a fearsome champion. It's evident from Oliveira's positive remarks that Makhachev's development as a fighter has not only attracted the interest of fans but also earned him respect from other fighters in the sport. Robert Whittaker, a former middleweight champion of the UFC, commented on the much-awaited bout between Khamzat Chimaev and Strickland, the current middleweight champion. Robert Whittaker thinks Strickland can be the hardest and biggest test for Khamzat so far. Here is what he said. "Usman's a tough fight, and he beat him. How Chimaev will go against other middleweights? It's hard to say. Styles make fights. But he's gonna be fighting Strickland, and Strickland's got some pretty good takedown defense. Not to mention he's an awkward guy to stand with. Just the way he throws. I can see Strickland giving Chimaev a hard fight. I think it's going to be a hard fight. I don't think Chimaev's gonna run through him. Over 5 rounds, Strickland's very energy efficient. He almost gets faster during the rounds. I think Khamzat gonna have a really hard test, a really hard fight on his hands. Because if anyone's gonna last the round, it's gonna be Strickland." Last weekend, the UFC witnessed a spectacular showdown between Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski, culminating in a knockout victory for Makhachev. Islam maintained his position as the undisputed lightweight champion of the UFC with a convincing victory. But even in the middle of the celebrations, some fans questioned the legality of some of Makhachev's strikes. Anthony Smith came forward to address the debate and offer a perceptive analysis of the situation. Smith explained that the key of the matter is in the differentiation between purposely striking the back of the head and unwittingly hitting it as a result of the opponent's movement. Here is what he said. "And the rule isn't necessarily that you can't punch someone in the back of the head. That's not the rule. The rule is that you can't target the back of the head, so if you're throwing a strike that started off as a legal targeted strike and they move their head while you're throwing it, the referees will tell you in the back, that's on you. That's your own fault. If you shoot a takedown while someone's kneeing you but while they started that technique, you were still on 2 feet and it landed whilst you're on your knees, that's on you. That's 100% your fault, so I think all those shots were legal." Conor McGregor shared his thoughts on the boxing match between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. The MMA superstar didn't count out Ngannou's chances against the British heavyweight champion. McGregor acknowledged Ngannou's formidable power and described it as a game-changer. Here is what he said. "Francis has power, he has big power with a striker's mentality. If it gets a bit tougher for him in the later rounds, the striker mentality will withstand versus if it was a mixed martial artist's mentality. With power, with that anything can happen. Mike Tyson in the corner, that type of style could be a kryptonite of a long, rangy distance type of fighter in Tyson Fury. I don't think Tyson Fury is going to want to let Francis test his power on him. Has Mike Tyson given some tips on how to get inside, change an angle, to bang a shot that clips the top of the temple, to make it into an interesting bout? He has a tall ask with Tyson Fury, but any man can land a shot. Tyson does get hit. It's going to be a tough ask. I'm excited to see it unfold." Paulo Costa has posed another challenge to Khamzat Chimaev after their scheduled fight was cancelled due to Costa's injury. Dana White, the president of the UFC, declared that the winner of a match between Khamzat and Usman would get a shot at the championship. but Costa has openly voiced his doubts, speculating that White's remarks were just an attempt to create hype. Costa expressed his doubts in a recent interview about Chimaev's readiness for a championship chance. Here is what he said. "He showed a lot of holes in his game. So immature, going hard, he just rushed too much in the first round and he wasn't there anymore in the second and in the third round. For those who have been long time in this sport, you can recognize when a guy is ready for big things or not. I don't believe he's ready right now. I think Dana White just used this to hype this event." Thanks for watching. If you're a fan of MMA, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you never miss an update. Also leave a comment below with your thoughts on today's news. Keep supporting the sport, and we'll see you in the next one.